Okay, 11 o'clock. Welcome to everyone. Welcome to this webinar. I am Patrick Delarbre, sales manager, sales and marketing manager of SRMTec. I will do a brief overview of the company, just 5 minutes, and then I will let Rudy speak about the ammonia compressor with the oil separator. So I will share the screen. Okay. So SRMTec, who is SRMTec? SRMTec is manufacturing compressors, semi-hermetic and open compressors. We are based in Italy, in Lonigo, and we are manufacturing here the semi-hermetic compressors, the complete brand of semi-hermetic compressors. We have subsidiaries in Sweden and China, and by the way, Sweden, SRM Sweden, our sister company, has invented the screw compressor many years ago in 1935. So since then, it has been developed, and the license has been sold to many other customers. And let's say we have quite a good experience in screw compressors. Very briefly, the trends of the market now we are trying to follow are four. The first one is technical dialogue and support to the customer, because more and more the customer do want advice. They do not want only to buy a compressor, but they want to buy the best compressor for their application. So they need advice, technical support, and to have a close dialogue with highly qualified engineer. So we are a team of highly qualified engineer who can give this kind of advice. Secondly, the second trend is innovation, because the world of compressors has moved quite slowly with not big disruption innovation, and regulations are always more tight. The end user always want more efficiency, and the market need innovation. So we've presented some innovation. For instance, Enrico Faccio has presented 2 days ago some compressors for a data center, and innovation for this kind of market. Yesterday, we've presented the RS5. You can see on our website, srmtec.it. This compressor also on our YouTube channel. If you want to go on YouTube, you can see RS5, an innovative compressor with innovation about auto VI, about centrifugal oil separator, improving drastically the performance efficiency. So these are the main trends, technical dialogue and innovation, and we are trying to follow these trends. Of course, last but not least, to have a wide range of models, from the little piston compressor to the open compressor. And so the customer do not have to switch between one supplier and another, and a short delivery lead time, especially in Europe. Briefly, I want to present the team present here in MCE. We have Enrico Faccio, the CEO, and also responsible for R&D policies. He has done a first webinar. We will put it online on our YouTube channel very soon. about application for data center, as I said. Thomas Broglia yesterday, he presented also a webinar. He was the former R&D manager of Frashold. Enrico was the former R&D manager of Revcomp. And now Rudy is the sales director of industrial markets. He was the former general manager of Bitzer in Australia and Asia. And also other colleagues from Sweden, Germany, Russia, and so on. So again, just to tell you that we can support you and give you advice. The applications, very rapidly: refrigeration, chillers, process cooling, food processing, data center, and heat pumps. The usual ones. And so I will let speak Rudy Schauser, as I said, sales director of industrial department, more than 20 years experience in refrigeration industry, managing director of Bitzer Australia and Asia, and he has a long experience in natural refrigerant and as CO2 and ammonia. So Rudy, you can now speak. I will okay.
Thank you, Patrick, for your kind introduction.
Okay,
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I just say the participant, they can switch from the presentation of Rudy to Rudy, who is be showing the compressors. There is two little arrows on the bottom of the right-hand side of the screen, and you can switch from the presentation to the camera, and from the camera to the presentation. So if you want to see the presentation, please click on these two double arrows. And if you have questions, you can ask your questions in the question and answer just under the raise hand button, right-hand side of the screen. You can ask the questions and we will be happy to answer. Okay, Rudy.
Thank you, Patrick, for your kind introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to me to share some of our information and our experience to you about semi-hermetic compressors and their development. I hope you can see the presentation screen right now. I want to talk about the new developments and the applications of semi-hermetic compressors. We all know the trends in industry are green and cost-effective. What does this mean? These changes, which are always have been there, are accelerating right now due to politics, climate change, politics, but also due to the corona crisis we are facing right now. Ammonia, propane, and CO2 seem to be the only long-term refrigerants which will remain. The cost pressure is immense right now to get out of the current crisis, and we all can feel and can see how our customers are affected by that. A very nice trend is that heating and cooling are the two sides of the coin, the two sides of the equation, which requires to have a holistic approach to change the industry in that respect. The borderline between commercial and industrial refrigeration is blurring. There is not a clear, distinctive line in the sand anymore. That means also that certain features of commercial compressors are spilling over to the industrial compressors. For example, that control components like solenoid valves, blocks, differential pressures, switches, sensors, and so on are meanwhile an integral part of the compressor and not separate to it anymore. Filters, be it suction filters or oil filters or oil strainers, are also increasingly becoming an integral part of the compressor. That makes the compressors to be more compact, and of course enables also the packager or the OEM to apply the compressors in a much more compact and small footprint way to their applications and into versatile installations. That enables to reduce cost on site, which we all know are the most expensive cost. Energy efficiency is our common denominator when we talk about cost and efficiency of our systems. Now let's talk quickly a little bit about the properties of ammonia, which is our natural refrigerant and choice of refrigerant. In the first place, it is non-ozone depleting. It is a no direct global warming potential refrigerant, and therefore is our long-term choice. The refrigeration efficiency of ammonia is at least as good as R22, which was a very handy and easy to handle refrigerant. What makes it very attractive, of course, is the price. I believe ammonia cannot be beaten price-wise as a refrigerant, especially when you compare to all of these new cocktails which are introduced to the market all the time. A little bit of a high side, but also a downside, is the high enthalpy difference. It is a very potent refrigerant, which is fantastic for big installations, and that's why it has been used all the time in industrial applications since many years and centuries. But it is also a little bit difficult to be controlled when we talk about smaller applications. That is something where we have to learn about and where we have to consider. It is flammable, it is toxic. That means that special safety precautions have to be taken, and we need to have dedicated plant rooms. Oil miscibility is a bit of a problem, which requires a special care of oil separation and oil return systems from evaporators and condensers. There is, known to everyone, the copper ammonia incompatibility, which requires steel piping instead of copper piping. Open drive motors have to be applied, or special motors, which we will talk about a little bit later. Now, we have listened to the market demand, to the market trend, and to the requirements and regulations of politics. We have listened and we came up with solutions which are targeting and helping especially the, I call it, ex-Freon contractors and OEMs who want to convert to ammonia. This means that we have to cater for lower kilowatt capacities. So we are talking about the semi-industrial, semi-commercial market. We have to also cater with the fact that this market is not yet skilled like the old industrial refrigeration people, and they don't have this experience yet. Therefore, we have to give a bit more support, and that's what we are doing. Oil is one of the key factors which we have to consider, the miscibility, and we have to know that it is heavier than ammonia. So compared to Freon, where the oil is on the top, with ammonia applications, the oil is on the bottom. And therefore also the oil returning, the oil harvesting has to be from the bottom. We know that we had in former times at least to use open drive motors, open drive compressors, and require external motors that required to have a shaft seal to connect and a coupling. That was a factor very often for leakage and of course for maintenance and alignment of compressor shaft, coupling, motor shaft. If we have no shaft seal, means we have a technical proof, leak-proof solution, we don't have the maintenance for it. This is one of our features we are talking about. We are also not only offering a solution in regards to compressors, but also we offer the matching oil separators with it to make it easy. And we see, of course, that process chillers or air conditioning, high temperature chillers are a very, very interesting market, which is a mass market which has to move so that we can go to natural refrigerants, so that we can actually mitigate our climate change. And we have built a solution for it. Let us now talk about the solutions we are offering. We are offering these semi-hermetic ammonia screw compressors to you. We call them SRS, semi-hermetic SRM compressors. They are featured by permanent magnetic motors which are integrated into the housing. Again, technically leak-proof systems. They come with as single-stage compressors or as a double-stage compressor. And the main applications, as I already said, is cold storage, air conditioning, but also data center cooling, process cooling, freezers and food processing. A common denominator is that we apply the SRM profile, which was designed by SRM in Sweden with a 5+7 optimal teeth ratio, very high efficient. We have made sure that we have a bigger diameter, which is catering for higher stiffness and therefore for low noise and low vibrations. I was briefly talking about the motor. As I said, copper and ammonia do not like each other. That means we cannot have the traditional semi-hermetic copper winding motor where the refrigerant is basically sucked in, is cooling the motor windings and is then compressed. We have to do something else. We have to use either an insulation around the copper windings to protect the copper from the harsh ammonia aggressivity, or we use, in our case, an aluminium winding. The downside of the aluminium winding is that it is less efficient than copper. Therefore, we were using to have permanent magnet motors which are as efficient, i.e. 3 efficient, as copper winding motors. They require an inverter to be operated. But the big advantage of aluminium winding is that it cannot fail. And that was, to us, the most important thing, reliability. If you isolate or insulate the copper windings, and if there is a little crack, it is only a matter of time, and the crack becomes bigger and the ammonia can do its job. Aluminium windings do not have insulation, therefore there cannot be any problem. Talking about efficiency and our technology, of course, the housing, the flows, everything was optimized by computer-aided design, by fluid controls, and we ensured that we have a bigger motor than necessary so that we have high efficiency throughout the whole operation from 1500 RPM to 4200 RPM. Very interesting is the operation window. You see on the single stage compressor, the operation window is from -35 evaporation up to +5 evaporation and 47 condensing temperature. On the two-stage compressors, that application window is from -55 degrees evaporation and up to 62 degrees condensation, which means it is a perfect compressor for very low temperature applications like freezers, freezing tunnels, or frosters. Let's have a quick look onto the range. The SRS range single stage compressor comes with from 85 cubic meters per hour up in steps up to 500 cubic meters per hour capacity. That is a huge capacity range and is exactly targeted to that bigger end of the commercial applications, lower end of the industrial applications. You see this line in the middle. On the left side, this is the SRS-8 to SRS-12 compressor range. We have fixed VI according to the application. On the bigger range side, SRS-14 up to SRS-16L, we have an adjustable VI. It is actually manually adjustable by turning a bolt, or it is even automatic VI, but I have to say it is not a stepless VI, automatic adjustment. It is an on-off, an either-or, summer, winter, day, night. But this is absolutely enough, good enough for these kind of applications. Talking quickly about the displacement range of the two-stage compressors, that's from 140 to 650 cubic meters per hour, and it comes in 5 steps. The feature of industrial refrigeration, which we incorporate and which we are living, is reliability. That means also to us that the core of the compressor, the rotors, have to have a life cycle which is for a lifetime. 60,000 hours is the designed lifetime of these rotors. So there is no maintenance, no checking needed in between, besides to make sure that the application is working according to the application envelope, and that we make sure we have the oil in order. We check every year the oil, do an oil analysis, and the compressor will have a happy life and generate business for our customers. Service and integration, another point of cost effectiveness during the life cycle time. We have incorporated plenty of features into the compressor. The 3-step partial load valves, the integrated oil filter cartridge, which is here. We have integrated the oil flow switch and the oil shutoff valve, stop valve, and oil filter differential switch. Discharge temperature sensor, all is integrated into the compressor to make life easy for the system integrator, for the packager or OEM. Another feature for the OEM is we can change actually these valves, discharge and suction valves, from left to right, from right to left, and even rotate them 360 degrees. That makes it easy if you talk about duo systems, duo packs, which can be then done in a mirror image and reduce cost of piping and complexity. All major features, all major service items and parts are on one side and can be dismantled and serviced from one side without taking the compressor off the frame. Not only compressors we are talking about, we also have an offer of to integrate oil separators to the compressors. These oil separators make it easy to integrate the compressors, build a package quickly and easily. Our oil separators are highly efficient, three-phase oil separators with centrifugal separation on the inner wall of the vessel, a demister for the droplet separation, and last but not least, a fine separation by the fine filters. We have optimized these oil separators for our semi-hermetic SRS compressors. We have only 3 oil separator models horizontally. They come with saddle plates for easy compressor mounting. They can also be ordered directly with consoles for flexible mounting of the arrangement across or along the vessel. And these consoles fit all SRS compressor types. The benefits are very obvious. Quick and easy oil separator selection. No machine frame is needed for that package. The design documents and documentation is available and can be integrated. And we have a flexible design option for a wide range of applications. Just as an example of the configuration, we take here 2 SRS-14 compressors, add and have selected the oil separator as it is 800. And now we can, as I said, have a choice in which way we are mounting the shut-off valves and the discharge valves. We have the possibility to mount the compressors across the oil separator or alongside. We can use legs for that oil separator. Then we do not need to have a frame. That is reducing cost again. And on the front, we have saddle plates where we can mount pressure gauges, terminal boxes, and other equipment like brackets and sensors. But now, last but not least, we come to the next step of development of semi-hermetic compressors. I call it the evolution from the SRS compressors, single stage, to our new flagship, the SRS-C, like compact. This compressor comes again with a permanent magnetic motor, is inverter driven, is technically leak proof, there is no shaft seal, but now has integrated an oil separator. Has integrated an oil separator is the first time that an ammonia compressor comes with an integrated oil separator. We have 5+6 lobes rotor, active oil management, where my colleague Thomas Brolia was already talking to you about yesterday, has got an automatic VI and has got an increased application window compared to the SRS compressors. And I will show you what that means. First of all, the oil flow management. I don't want to reiterate what Thomas was talking about, but it is very clear that screw compressors need oil, and I need enough oil. They need oil for sealing and lubrication. And as this oil is very, very important, normally the oil flow is designed according to the worst case scenario to make sure the compressor is happy. But oil reduces efficiency. Oil reduces the refrigerant flow through the screws. If there is 10% of oil in the whole flow, that means that we have 10% reduction of efficiency. If we can reduce the oil, we increase efficiency. It reduces the efficiency in the evaporators by building a layer or even blocking it to a certain extent. And of course, it is unnecessarily cooled. If we don't have the oil, the efficiency increases. Now, our compressor has got the active flow, system, which is a system, a mechanical system. You do not need to send any external control pulses to it. No input is needed from outside. It is done automatically, and it makes sure that only the oil which is needed is also there and present. We have an integrated oil separator. The integrated oil separator is compact, but still generously sized. It makes sure that the oil separation is perfectly suited for chiller applications, and therefore is increasing also the overall efficiency. This compressor comes with an O2 VI. We know that a standard VI is making sure that at a certain pressure ratio given, the highest efficiency will take place. But when the condensing temperature is moving, that optimum point is also moving. In a fixed VI, it cannot. But if we have an O2 VI, that O2 VI is moving, and therefore also it is always making sure we have the best efficiency over the parameters of operation. Of course, O2 VI, and you can see it on the slide, is best and most efficient, or has the biggest effect on high evaporation temperatures and on part load, seen in these lines. In combination with speed control, the O2 VI is making sure that we have the absolutely best performance in these compressors. But now I want to say quickly something about the features of that compressor. It again comes fully featured, integrated with oil flow switch, with discharge temperature sensors, with oil filter, with oil level sensor, with oil side glasses, and of course with the oil cooling inlet outlet, integrated everything into this compressor. The range, we call it SRC 17. In that case, means 17 is the diameter of the rotors. And we have the rotor length S, M, and L. Our range consists right now of 4 models. That SRS-C 17S is readily available right now. The next smaller size will be available in the 4th quarter of this year, and the SRC 12L, the smallest size, will be available end of this quarter. That small SRS-C 12 enables you to do duo packs from a very small capacity onwards. And for next year, we have planned to have the SRC 19S with a large displacement of more than 600 cubic meters per hour. The application limit, and this is a novelty, please have a look. Now we can go up with evaporation temperature up to 15 degrees and have a condensing temperature of up to 55 degrees, which means this compressor is perfectly suited for process cooling, but also for high temperature applications like data centers or air conditioning. It can be also operated with its 55 degrees of condensing temperature as an air-cooled compressor package. As a summary, we have got a natural solution. We have got active flow integrated for increased efficiency. We have integrated the oil separator. That means that we do not need an extra oil separator. That is less cost. But it is also making sure that the whole chiller can be built more compact. We have less piping. There is no piping from oil separator to compressor. That is first of all, less cost, but also it means there are less welding points. Each welding point is not only cost, but also it is one potential leakage less. So the whole compressor uses less space, less footprint, and it comes with all of these integrated features. I believe this compressor is the flagship and is the future for natural refrigerant and natural chillers in process and high temperature applications. I like to thank you very much for your audience, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them now, or alternatively anyway, visit our webpage at srmtecgroup.com. I'm here now to listen for some more questions and try to answer them.
Thank you, Rudy. Thank you so much for this very detailed and comprehensive presentation. I just wanted to add something. So in my introduction, I was talking about innovation in the world of compressors. So I think today we've seen a lot of innovations, and yesterday, for instance, we've been in detail with this active flow and auto BI. And I just wanted to add one thing about the efficiency, what that means in terms of money for the end user. Okay, and this auto BI for a customer for data center, we've calculated that with the inverter it was 10,000 euro saving per year. 10,000 euro saving per year. So we can speak innovation, and also for the end user, it's a huge saving for the end user. So I wanted just to highlight this kind of innovation now also on ammonia with integrated separator, and these are big innovation for the customers and also for the end users. Yes, one question about the oil separator is what is the advantages to have the oil separator integrated? I think you've explained it already, but just to do a little summary, and the difference between the oil separator next to the compressor or integrated to the compressor. What if you can summarize the advantages?
Yes, very easy. First of all, to have an integrated oil separator means you do not have to have it mounted separately with a separate space. You do not have to connect the discharge of the compressor into the oil separator, which is additional welding, which is additional cost, which is additional potential leakages. So you can have a solution where you have a much more compact system, a much more compact compressor without additional piping, and it reduces on top of that refrigerant charge, because every refrigerant which is not in a pipe, of course, is less. So it is a unique, innovative solution dedicated for chiller manufacturers, be it process chiller or be it high temperature application chillers like data centers or air conditioning.
Okay, that's clear. We have been very long. Sorry, maybe we will not be able to answer to all the questions. Maybe what we can do, you can send your questions to Rudy directly on this platform, or to Rudy's email and through SRM Group, or for commercial compressors, you can go on srmtec.it, srmtec.it, it. And you will find everything. Or if you want to write to us for commercial compressors also, info@srmtec.it. So thank you very much, Rudy. Again, sorry if we have been long. I hope you will enjoy this presentation. We will put it on our YouTube channel, so you will find this presentation very soon on the YouTube channel, so you can watch it again very soon. So thank you
very much.
Thank you to everybody. Thank you, Rudy, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.